topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Connected Table Live. We're your hosts, Melanie Young and David Ransom. You're an insatiably curious culinary couple. We enjoy taking you around the world to the places we visit, people we meet, foods we eat, and wines we sip, as well as some good spirits, and share them with you so that you can eat, drink, explore, and be inspired. We particularly love to travel, and this is a travel show day for us. We were recently, first time for both of us, in the great state of Texas, specifically to visit Fredericksburg. Now, Fredericksburg is a town that has been on my bucket list for a really long time because I heard it just oozes charm, which it does. It's a very unique place in Texas because it is has a German history to it. It's located in hill country, so let's get it geographically situated. About little over an hour's drive from San Antonio.
Yeah, so it's about an hour north of San Antonio and about an hour west of Austin.
Yeah,
in hill country.
In Texas hill country,
yeah.
Which we're going to share with you is a great place to visit, and we can't wait to go back. So Fredericksburg was founded in 1846 by German immigrants who were, leaving the old country to escape hardship, and it was led by a man named John O. Musbach. And the town is actually named after Prince Frederick of Prussia. The poor immigrants came over, and for a long time, they ended up on the coast of Texas, unable to get up to the land. So what happened, we learned, and this is, if you go to Fredericksburg, the Visit Fredericksburg Visitor Center has an amazing film. We highly suggest visiting it to learn the history because it's really, really unique. We learned that Texas is very multicultural. We always think of Texas and Tex-Mex and Mexicans, but there's Czechoslovakians, there's
Germans, obviously,
many Texans, and of course Germans. So founded in 1846, many of the people we met are multi-generational from the original settlers. That's kind of cool. When you walk around Main Street, and is highly walkable. It stretches just about 3.5 miles, and there's like 150 shops, galleries, and cafes. The entire town reflects that German feel. Behind us in the photos, one of the most significant historical sites, the Verenkirche, which is a community church. This is actually a replica of the original church from the 1800s. This one was built in the 1940s, I believe, but it's one of the many historic structures that you'll see in downtown Fredericksburg. But there's more to Fredericksburg than the German history, which we hear it has one of the greatest Oktoberfests ever, if we get to go, and a beautiful Christmas. We also have learned. So it's been on my, actually it was on my list for a couple of reasons. One, the German heritage. Two, this very famous for Oktoberfest. Three, this German history, and then Texas wines and wildflowers, because I've always wanted to see the bluebonnets in season. So our trip was fairly naturally food and wine focused, right?
It was.
And that made it fun. Now, what makes this area unique? Well, first of all, this is really cool. Peaches. This is the Peach Center, and we didn't know this. The Peach Center of Texas. Yeah. Now, we visited several peach orchards. Unfortunately, Mother Nature didn't cooperate, and the peaches were not ready yet. But these are family-owned, again, multi-generational farmers who they grow more than peaches, but peaches like the famous product of the area. We got to taste a lot of peach jam and peach butter and peach salsa, and I think about June will be the beginning of the season is mid-May through mid-August. And I mean, I didn't even know you had so many peaches in Texas. I'm from Tennessee and I grew up on Georgia peaches.
There are, and there have been. Originally, the folks, when they emigrated to Fredericksburg. Originally, what was grown was cotton,
Right.
and then the cotton got decimated, so they were told to plant peanuts, and they planted peanuts for many, many years, and then peaches started to take over. And at one point, there were over 100 peach farmers in the Fredericksburg Hill Country area. Now there's about a dozen. But it's still a vibrant industry, which draws a lot of people during the season.
Well, we met some wonderful family farmers. We're going to give a shout out to some of them, and hopefully now their peaches are being picked. And if you visit Fredericksburg, you can sink your teeth into them. We had a great peach cobbler at one of them. We visited Jenschke Orchards, lovely farm. Also has a little B&B there and a barbecue. A lot of these places have like places to eat on the side. There was a little barbecue place next door. Beautiful. I think they also do corn. Then we saw other types of things. We visited Vogel Orchards, Engel Orchards, and Berg's Corner, which is, I think I know the owners thought I was crazy because I was running around tasting every little thing. There was so much peach salsa and jam and butter, and also strawberry rhubarb. You know, it's one of those general stores. You can try everything, but you can also buy by the bushel. So peaches, very, very famous in this area. The other was wildflowers.
Yes, that's a big industry in that area. Well, let's preface that. Lyndon Baines Johnson, 34th President of the United States, was from this area.
Getting my notes up.
And his wife, Lady Bird Johnson, was the one that really kind of kickstarted wildflowers all over the side of the highways in Texas. And it's become such a huge thing that there's obviously now it's got international acclaim, and there's a bunch of farms devoted to flowers and wildflowers. And we did visit one, probably the biggest wild seed farms, and it was just a fabulous experience.
We're going to try to get the founder, John Thomas, on the show. He is filled with information. If you are lucky enough to go to Fredericksburg during bluebonnet season, which is April, you will see fields of blue. Other times you'll see fields of red. He is, it's interesting. He also grows grapes and is a grower and makes wine, award-winning wine. We tasted a few, which we're getting into the wine part soon. But you can go into his general store. It's a big compound with lots of trails to walk through to look at the flowers. But you can actually go buy seed packets that are tailored to where you live. And I wanted to get some for New Orleans because I can't imagine we grow anything here, but that's what I was hoping to do. So that's another famous thing about Fredericksburg. So peaches.
So let's get back to the peaches, because you talked about Henschke, which was one of the places that we went to, but there are a couple others which are very nice as well. Berg's Corner, you said, was one. And
Vogel Orchards.
And Vogel Orchards was another. And we met Jamie Vogel. And
they're doing some interesting things also with Texas agriculture.
It's interesting because all these peach farms, they're all like fourth and fifth generation farmers.
Well, everybody's fifth generation.
I know everybody. We didn't meet anybody under four. So, and it's very interesting to see that how they're working the land and trying to keep up with the times as times do change and the climate warms and bugs come and bugs go. Pests are a big problem in hill country. Whether it's grapes or peaches or wildflowers. I don't know.
Well, heat, so it's dry, it's hot, it's very hot, but you also get these incredible hailstorms, and certain climates attract certain types of pests. I know that I think it was at Vogel, they're working hard. At Vogel, they're trying to work with Texas A&M to develop disease-resistant crops. And they also we saw some blackberries and strawberries that were being cultivated at the time as well. Yes, Berg's Corner is the general store where I tasted everything.
And they're actually a peach processor as well. So they actually bring in peaches from farmers that don't have farm stands in the area, and they do the legwork to get them to market. I'm
reaching for the big one is Doss Peach House. So we're going to take you through our itinerary, but they also, they do more than peaches, but it's like Peachorama when you go there and have amazing. They make they're part of Fisher and Weiss, which is known for its condiments, award-winning condiments from the National Association of Specialty Food Trade. It's a family-run business again, and more peaches. We didn't, as we said, we didn't have a fresh peach, but we had some really delicious peach cobbler.
Yeah, we did.
And
great peach salsas and peach jams.
Yeah, anytime we can meet farmers and support them, we do. But that's not all, because this area, Fredericksburg, is in the center of hill country, and there's over, I think, 60 wineries in this area. Texas Hill Country is an AVA unto itself among the different AVAs of Texas. So we got to taste several types of Texas wines, and we're going to do another show on that down the road. But here's what we learned. We've tasted Texas wines before because the Agricultural Commission came to New York, and a lot of vintners had, but it was the first time we'd actually stepped into Texas to visit wineries and taste wines and see the land there.
Yeah, we've talked about them before. We've had a couple of experiences with them in New York, and I've written about them as well. Some lovely wines. You know, Texas is a big producer of wine.
Mm-hmm.
It's number 5 in the country in production,
right?
After California, Washington, New York, and Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So to be number 5, that takes a lot, because we all know how much wine the other 4 make. And but one of the problems of finding it outside the state is that 94% of it is consumed in Texas.
Right. So you got to go to Texas to get the wine.
So it's a lot of small producers who make basically wine to sell at the winery and out in local stores and restaurants. So a lot of it doesn't leave Texas, but those that do, if you find them on the list, get them.
So let's talk a little bit more about the wine, since we love wine. A couple of things. David's got the itinerary up. Mine's disappeared on my screen. But one, some of the things that was interesting, there's a term called the looking back loam. It's one of the the soils that is very conducive to growing grapes. And we heard that term a lot. It's in the area because Luckenbach's not far. I think there's 2 different soils, predominant soils in this area. Because you're in the Pedernales River Valley. So the Pedernales River is small, but it's a river valley. Mm-hmm. So you've got that alluvial soil and the Luckenbach loam. As we know, a lot of the grapes are grown up in northern high country, but we saw a lot of vineyards. In fact, I got to tell you, I was blown away by how many new vineyards there were.
Yeah, it's definitely an emerging region that's been discovered by people that make wine, because they're all flocking there trying to find land to build wineries.
And we heard land is hard to come by too, many times.
Land has always been hard to come by because it's all multi-generational ranches and farms. However, when they do sell off, they become wineries at this point. So
I'll correct myself. Texas Hill Country is home to over 100 wineries and vineyards. Many are within like 40 minutes drive of Fredericksburg. And it is the largest, we learned the largest AVA in the country, or maybe the second largest now, because we had an interview with Jessica Dupuy, which is airing next week, who's from Texas, written about Texas wines. And she said it may have been eclipsed by the Missouri River Valley, but it is the largest, definitely in Texas. Mm-hmm. And you get an array. So what do they grow in Texas? Interestingly, my first impression was I felt like a little like it was like Paso Robles. You got similar feel about the area, style, that cowboy culture feel. So the food is similar. Tri-tips we were served at one restaurant. The grapes, I'd put in 3 categories and echo me. I'd put them in Iberian. So you've got Tempranillo. You've got a lot of Tempranillo is the main grape in the Garnacha. You've got Rhone style grapes. So you've got the Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre, and Cinsault. You've got some Cabernet, but probably not. And you've got very good Southern Italian varieties like Aglianico.
Well, because it's such a hot climate, I think the key is that they're growing hot climate grapes.
Exactly.
Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Pinot Noir don't tend to do well there.
No, they had some being served, but they were not.
There are a few, and if they grow them, they can make good wine out of them. That's great, but it's not really the big focus of the region. It's more Rhone style varietals, Spanish varietals, and Italian varietals, Southern Italian, that is, Sangiovese, things like that. The cool climate grapes don't do well there.
Right, but we were very impressed. Now a lot of the wineries are younger, but Fall Creek Vineyards, which we did not visit, it's one of the oldest wineries in Texas. I knew them when I worked with the James Beard Foundation. Now, we do recommend you have a car or one of the many services that will take you to wineries, so you can go out and visit the wineries. However, in the Main Street, very 3.5-mile Main Street walkable town, you'll find tasting rooms.
Yeah, there's probably a dozen tasting rooms in town.
Yeah, as well as beer gardens and cocktail bars.
Well, that too.
Because it's German, right? You know what you won't find? Well, did we have any Riesling anywhere? I think we had one.
I think we had one.
So let's talk about where we visited. I've got my itinerary paper because it's not coming up on my screen. We visited Texas Wine Collaborative, which I think is where we had the...
Yeah, we visited 5 producers while we were there.
Right.
And the first one we went to was a place called K Estate.
Yes.
And it's a brand new winery. It's probably 5 years old. But they've got 5 properties in Texas, and they have 1 in Paso Robles. So
thus another connection.
Yeah. So it's a big multi-property wine production place. They've got I think 2 or 3 on the same road,
right,
outside of Fredericksburg, and it's all under the Grape Creek moniker. But this was K Estate, so this is kind of it's got a bistro, it's got a very modern tasting room, but it really focuses on their club.
Yeah, so the wine tasting is free.
You can buy wine, but they really want you to sign up for the club, and the only people that can eat in the restaurant are the people that are members of the club.
And the food is very good. We noticed
good.
that a couple of places that we visited where it's very club focused, and I think it's a great way to generate repeat business. And some of the wineries have very large clubs. Like one, I think, told me 4,000 members. So it's pretty impressive. The food was very good at the club. Really delicious food.
So that was K Estate. K is in the letter K. And then we also went to the Texas Wine Collective, which is kind of, if you've ever been to Paso Robles, and we have, I've been a number of times, and I know you have been at least once. There's a place called Tin City outside of Paso Robles where a lot of small producers kind of share space to make their wines. That's kind of what this is. Texas Wine Collective really kind of reminded me of the Paso Robles Tin City.
It did.
Production compound. It's got 3 wineries that all banded together to produce their wines and sell them through this tasting room. And they are Brennan Vineyards, McPherson Cellars, and Lost Oak Winery. We tasted a few wines of all 3 producers, and they were lovely. A nice Trebbiano, which is a mid-Italian varietal from the...
We found that in a number of the wineries, Trebbiano.
Middle from the region. It's a good hot weather grape. Good Trebbiano, good Mourvedre, Tempranillo as well. Interesting wines.
I think for me the standouts were those 3 grapes and some Vermentino. We also visited, what's the next winery we visited? Mirestone.
Yeah, then we visited Mirestone, which is owned by Crystal Patel.
5th generation.
5th generation. It's based on a family ranch that's been in the family for 5 generations. She's the 5th. And she decided to expand what they do and make wine as well. They grow a lot of corn. It's a working ranch. It's a working cattle farm as well, cattle ranch as well. But she started the wine. She's only a 4 or 5 year old winery, but she's already won the saddle at the Houston Rodeo competition, which is the top wine in Texas.
We'll put that up on our Instagram.
It's a pretty big accomplishment for such a young winery, but she's done everything right, and she's making some beautiful wines.
And she's the winemaker. I mean, she is self-taught.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really on it. And the wines, I thought the rosé was beautiful.
And her reds are phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, incredibly well-made wines. When we were there was a birthday party with wine club members. It's like a destination place. Terrific wines.
Yeah.
I wish we could have them shipped here.
We'll just have to go back.
I know we have to go back. And then the 2 more wineries we went to.
Yeah. And then we also, so that was Mirestone. So then we went to also one of the historic wineries in the region, Pedernales, which is named after the Pedernales River.
Correct.
Which runs through Fredericksburg and runs through that area of the hill country. So the Pedernales Cellars is one of the more established and historic wineries in the region. and
Established
also-
by a Scandinavian couple from California originally.
correct, and makes some wonderful wines. Run by the son now.
Yes, we met.
And makes some wonderful wines, which I just love them.
I thought their reds were in particularly strong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful blends.
And they do well with Cabernet as well.
Yeah, they did.
I think one of the things about their winery is that it's up at elevation.
Right.
It's really, really high on the hill overlooking hill country. So they get a little bit cooler nights.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just, they make some very nice
Yeah, it
wines.
definitely, when you go there, you just see this huge panorama.
Yeah.
We took a lot of notes. We'll be following this show up with a write-up that you'll see on the Connected Table blog because we couldn't write them fast enough. We just literally got back. We also want to note that Wild Seed Farm, John Thomas, is producing wines, and his Alicante Boucher has won some awards. I think it was a double gold. We tasted his Tempranillo. Really terrific wines throughout. I'm strong on the reds in this area, and what goes together goes together. This is steak country, so you're going to have a lot of really great reds. You have your notes up, I see right here. Anyone's you want to pull out and make a note of?
I just wanted to bring up Pedernales again.
Mm-hmm.
They make sparkling wine. There's a bunch of sparkling wine made in Texas.
Yeah, Kay
So
Estate had a
just-
very nice
yeah,
one.
they had one as well.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of folks focus on sparkling wines as well. But the Mourvedre. So here's the rundown at Pedernales, which was established in the mid '90s
Right.
by
Young in comparison.
David Culkin's parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is kind of an overview of some of the wines that you may find in Texas, and you can do that just by visiting these guys, but visit others too, please.
Yes.
So Grenache, Mourvedre, Sangiovese, Petit Syrah,
A recurring theme here. Rhone,
Tempranillo.
Spain,
Yeah.
and Italy, southern Italy.
Yeah. Nice wineries. Another winery that we went to after was also at Wild Seed Farms.
Yes.
Which is John Thomas is the founder and the owner of Wild Seed Farms. It's the nation's wildest working wildflower farm and has more than 1,000 cultivated acres in Texas.
Right.
And over 200 acres of wildflower fields at its hill country headquarters outside of Fredericksburg.
Nice guy.
Really nice guy. Spent a lot of time with him. He also, about 20 years ago, he decided to start growing grapes just to expand his repertoire.
Yeah, and he sells them to other producers.
He not only makes wine, but he also sells them to other producers, including Mirestone,
Exactly.
who we just talked about. And he makes some very nice wines in his own right.
Really nice. We didn't have a lot of time to taste through all the wines, but the ones we tasted were terrific.
Yeah.
And we are going to try to get him on our show because the extent of the wildflowers is really one of the key reasons you want to go to Fredericksburg. It is the center of wildflowers.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
And
What else in the wine world?
so, and then another place that we didn't taste the wines, and they really just started, but we went to a bakery for breakfast, and the people that own the bakery, which is called Dot's Bakery, also have a winery. And
They do.
they've been making wine longer than they've been baking muffins.
Well, Don's Bakery just opened.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice couple. The husband is, again, multi-generational, Texan, into a lot of things. His main business is law, but he's building a distillery and the winery. And this bakery from the outside is really small. But then you go in the back and there's like this huge beer garden.
Yeah, there's a beer garden, and then he's building a distillery in the back.
Incredibly ambitious.
It's like it seems to be something's always in motion.
And it's
And
literally in town.
we found that with a lot of the folks in Texas that we met.
Yeah.
They're constantly thinking of new ways to get things moving forward. And constantly coming up with new ideas to either pivot or come up with something new to make sure that they send it to the next generation.
Yeah. What you're going to find in Fredericksburg is you're going to find the German history. You're going to see this beautiful architecture. There are many opportunities I'm going to dwell on the old for a little bit, to learn about history. A couple of things that I would highly recommend. Then we're going to go back to wine. So just remember, we want to leave out the champagne. The Pioneer Museum is different historical buildings in downtown Fredericksburg. You can go and learn about how everybody lived back in the day, from very, very small homes to people who had means.
Mhm.
The Verenskirch church, social church behind us is a museum. There's also the Pacific War Foundation Museum because General Nimitz was from Fredericksburg. So there's a huge, it's actually part of the Smithsonian complex. Admiral, sorry. That's right. Admiral
Admiral
who's in the
Nimitz.
Navy. Admiral Nimitz, thank you, my history man. He is from Fredericksburg. There's a statue. We didn't get to go to that museum because
No.
we were too busy going around.
We were
wineries.
on the wine tour package.
Yeah, but we
for
would
that
go back.
afternoon. But yeah, the Pioneer Museum was very interesting, and it was very authentic as well. There's a great video in there that you can watch about how the German immigrants got stuck in Indianola on the coast of Texas,
Right.
When their funding fell through, and the people that had convinced them to come over to the U.S. at that point and come over to America basically had run out of money and couldn't get them to
The nobility.
where they were supposed to be going. So they all had to figure it out themselves. So they're basically abandoned on the beach.
A very, very tough life in the
Yeah.
beginning. This is kind of interesting. They negotiated the first peaceful agreement to cohabit with the local Choctaw Indian tribe. And that was very important in the history of Fredericksburg and development in that area. Again, a wealth of wonderful history that is punctuated by traditional beer gardens. The oldest brewery in Texas is there. We had a beer, of course, and a lot of architecture and feel. However, then you get this incredible contemporary aspect to Fredericksburg, which leads to, you said, the town and the people who live there. There's a lot of people who, a lot of pride, people move in and develop. There's a massive development just on like the outskirts of town called the Muse, named after Mr. Musebach, who helped bring everybody over. And that's a multi-use complex.
We actually took a hard hat tour through it the day we got there. And it's going to be a 200-room hotel. It's going to be a Kimpton.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have, and it's something that is, I think the folks in Fredericksburg are very excited about because it's going to open up a lot of overnight tourism.
Also, a bridal. This is a destination wedding. Reunions. Groups who want to go somewhere that is manageable, walkable, easy from a major airport. You can also get there from Austin. I think it may be a little easier from San Antonio. The Muse is a massive development. Kimpton will be the anchor. And what's interesting, we asked them because there's going to be a lot of shops, a lot of shopping. Shopping is a big deal in Fredericksburg. They are going to focus on local and regional shops and not, mass market, big lot names. So that's going to be really appealing for people who want that Texan feel.
Agreed.
More cowboy boots.
Agreed.
And that
more hats.
The complex is expected to open sometime in 2027. We did a hard hat tour, but it's important to note it because there is some important development happening, which is going to be great for the area.
And I think one of the best things to do when you go to town is that one of the first stops you should make is to go to the Fredericksburg Visitor Center.
Absolutely.
Which is run by the CVB, and it's got everything you need to kind of get the feel of and get brochures and talk to somebody at the desk and figure out what type of itinerary you want to have once you get out and about in Fredericksburg and around.
If you could look at my right hand, where my right hand is, I have a pile of brochures to sort through to write the articles that we want to write after this because there's so much.
It's also got a little screening room and you can watch a Fredericksburg promotional video, which was great. We did that when we got there, and then we chatted with the staff and picked up some brochures and kind of went on our merry way. But it's open all day long, so you can just pop in there and pop out.
I think everybody should visit visitor centers wherever they travel.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I mean, I think it's just part and parcel, whether you're in New Orleans, New York, or Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
So let's go back to eating and drinking a little bit. Our first stop, the very first day, we were only there, 3 days, was a wonderful place called Six Twists. It's a champagne and caviar lounge, clubs, membership, a lot of membership activity here.
You didn't want to leave.
No. Wonderful couple, Melissa and Bobby. They moved into Hill Country. A lot of people we talked to when we said you were either fifth generation local or you had been working maybe in oil and gas in Houston or something like that. and fell in love with Fredericksburg and decided to settle there. A lot of people are falling in love with Fredericksburg and wanting to settle there because it really is a nice place. And that's what Melissa and Bobby did. So they have a 6 twists, refers to the number of twists to get the mucilate off the champagne cork. It is a champagne and sparkling wine bar. And they do a wonderful tasting of 3 flights. We did a Prosecco, a Corponat Cava, and a grower champagne. And you have it with different styles of caviar. They work with the caviar company out of California. It was terrific.
Yeah, it's all about sparkling wine, and it's all about either grower champagne or not mass produced.
Right. You're not going to find big lot names there.
You're not going to find Moet. You're not going to
No.
find Cristal there. Oh, you might find Cristal, but
I don't know.
you're going to find a lot of small producers, and that's really the way they want it to be. And it's also a wonderful champagne. It's also a wonderful caviar bar.
Yeah, caviar was
And
terrific.
they do tastings of champagne and caviar while they're there.
This should
Now-
be your first stop.
And they just
Your last stop.
actually signed on a lease last year
Mhm.
to take over the space next door where they're going to do still wines. So they'll have the champagne bar and then the still wine bar as well.
And okay, this is important.
Yeah.
Right next to it is a Waldorf Astoria development. Speaking of very high-end luxury for anyone who wants that in-town luxury
Mhm.
feel. I think that's important. There's accommodations, which we'll get into, of every type, and we'll talk about that. But I wanted to mention, because 6 Weeks was our first visit on our itinerary. We had a very tight itinerary. We want to thank Visit Fredericksburg, Texas, for hosting us, and Geiger Public Relations for inviting us. Because I have to say, in the world of press trips, you can be exhausted or exhilarated, and I think we were both exhilarated.
Right.
So we were on the food and wine track. So our first full day was visiting the peach orchards and getting to know the farmers and feeling their pain about the peaches not being ready yet. But we get it because that's farming, and they're hardworking. And if you do go, please visit the farm stands and buy whatever's in season or whatever products, because they work hard. And it's great gift giving, really, really is. Stop at Dot's Bakery to have a kolache, some fresh brewed coffee, and then meander the streets. Now, we had some mighty fine dining.
Some very good dining.
So I don't know, how would you define hill country cuisine?
Just fresh local ingredients. Obviously, there's a lot of beef served in Texas because they grow a lot of cattle.
Yeah.
And they farm a lot, and they ranch a lot of cattle. So the beef was top notch, and I kind of focused on that because I never have it at home.
Just
And,
somebody doesn't eat beef.
And so I actually had a steak. I had a great pork chop.
Let's talk about that
meat.
steak.
It is meat focused,
Yeah.
but there's also good fish there. Because everything's global now in the fish world. So to get a good piece of salmon or a nice piece of sea bass or whatever it may be, you can find that there as
Well,
well.
also, Texas has the Gulf Coast. I mean, like
Correct.
Louisiana, it's the Gulf Coast. So we got some very good Gulf Coast seafood where we went. Your amazing steak. Let's talk about that amazing steak. You had it at the Well House, which is a restaurant at the Albert Hotel. If you want to stay in town, maybe you're not ready to stay at the luxury Waldorf Astoria. The Well House is centrally located. It's next door to a really fun bar with live music, a coffee shop. It's a compound with a beautiful swimming pool, which is handy in the Texas heat.
It's literally it backs up to Main Street and then also takes over the entire block to the next street over from Main.
I think that's where we would stay if we came back on our
Yeah,
own.
it was centrally located. Lots of great shopping and bars to hop into and have a drink or
Yeah.
cool off or some ice cream, something like that. It's all right there, right next to the
Yeah.
Albert Hotel. And the Well House was their restaurant, and it was absolutely delightful.
Fabulous.
The food was absolutely fresh as could be, and
Yeah.
very well prepared.
And generous portions. I mean,
Yes.
you're talking Texas-sized hospitality means Texas large portions everywhere we went. It was just terrific. Another standout meal we had was at Hill and Vine. This is my personal favorite
Oh, yeah, that was
restaurant. Whoa, we ordered too much, but it was so good. We took it home and took it to our little inn, which we'll talk about. This place had one of the most it's called Hill and Vine. It's been written up by everybody. One of the most unbelievably generous charcuterie boards filled with charcuterie and cheeses and dried fruits and fresh fruits. And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was a meal unto itself, but we also had,
A
you
meal.
love those meatballs. I had one. They
I
were
had one.
delicious.
Yeah, they were good.
You had the pork.
I had a wonderfully brined and marinated and then grilled pork chop. It was absolutely delicious with a coriander crust on it.
Yeah.
Served with a sun-dried tomato risotto, which is just fabulous.
And I had a wonderful redfish. It was just divine. Everything there was divine. The burrata, I had some ceviche, but the portions I totally
They were Texas-sized portions.
They were Texas.
So very generous. You're not going to go home hungry, that's for sure.
And you will have good cocktails. The cocktail culture is fabulous as well. And everywhere we went, we got to taste some really amazing cocktails. So this is a very sophisticated for dining. I would say sophisticated with an underscore. Then our third, we had a wonderful lunch at another place that we want to talk about, Hill Country Herb Garden. This is a built around an herb garden. There's a spa on site and 154 unique botanical species. You can come and buy plants.
Originally, it was an herb farm,
right?
But it's been taken over about 4 or 5 years ago and kind of repurposed into a restaurant, spa destination for small wedding or events as well. Mm-hmm. And there's 13 or 14 places to stay.
Like nice cabins.
Places to stay, including cabins.
Yeah, they're like freestanding structures. I wouldn't call them cabins, but they're like little houses, mini houses, all on site. A beautiful place. We have a local cat.
And very beautifully done, too.
Yeah, and of course, the dishes I had an amazing salad, comes sourced from the farm. And we had lunch there. It was very pleasant. There's a lovely, I think the shop is called Wildflower, that has wonderful gifts, all locally sourced. Mm-hmm. This is like the Albert, I would say, if you want an in-town hotel that is sophisticated, has a giant swimming pool, Excel, and bar, and is really right in the heart of town. The Albert's awesome. If you want uber luxury, the Waldorf Astoria, we didn't see those, but anything Waldorf Astoria right now is going to be very luxury. And if you want something still in town, but maybe to the edge, filled with flowers, you want that country in town feeling, Hill Country Herb Garden, really great.
Yeah, great place.
Another place I would choose to stay. I don't know what the rates are, but it's definitely higher end, just from the feel of it. It's Elements Hospitality. And we will put all this up on our site.
The Magnolia Gift Shop, which is on premise.
Miracle.
Is a beautiful, great little gift shop for picking up presents and things like that.
The shopping is it's like cuteness overload. Some of these shops. I mean, we spent a day. We had a little bit of free time, and we just spent a day walking up and down, looking at cowboy boots, cowboy hats, cute clothes, cute. I kept saying cuteness overload, really, but sophisticated, not cutesy, sophisticated. So the other place we went for an interesting meal, totally different, and it's a compound, family owned, is Das Peach House. We referenced it at the beginning because of the peaches. It is where Fisher and Weiser got its start. We met with Mark Weiser, who told us a story of growing up in Fredericksburg and on a peach farm. And he would scoop out the peaches and help on the farm as a young boy. And he basically created this concept. They have outstanding condiments. This is a place you can go and taste everything.
Yeah, and it's Fisher and Weiser is a condiment and jams, jellies, salsas,
you name it,
spreads, you name it. It's all, and it's sold all over the world at this point.
Yeah,
and they've been very successful. They're great at what they do. They're big specialty food proponents as well, and they're constantly evolving.
Yeah, they do product testing.
Yeah, they do a lot of product testing now
for companies as well as for themselves.
They also have a cooking school that you can go and take classes at. It's not necessarily a restaurant that's open to the public, but you can certainly go and take a group there and have a meal, etc. And there's also little kiosks outside where you can get food.
So it's
not a full-fledged restaurant.
So this is an example. This would be a great. So first of all, it's located, and we'll put pictures on our website. It's located on a lake. So you've got a lake setting off the country road. You see this beautiful sign, Das Peach House. Mm-hmm. And you walk in, and there's just so many condiments to taste. But we got there a little late, because we were there for dinner. So we went into the back of the cooking school presentation area, and ours was a very small group. The entire it overlooks the lake, so you get this beautiful view. And the chef on site cooked an amazing meal for us. They gave us a beautiful cheese platter with garlic and onion jam and triple berry jam, all Fisher and Weiser. And then we had a peach prosciutto flatbread with hot peach honey sauce.
Delicious.
Oh, it was so good. The flatbread, I could have stopped there. And we had this all with Texas wines, of course.
Mm-hmm. Because they also make wine.
Yes, because there's nothing this family doesn't do. And it is the entire family was there except for one member who just had a baby. They were all there to welcome us because that's what Texas does. They bring out everybody. The entree, which I loved, it was so generous. I wish I could have eaten more of it. The mustard crusted salmon with sweet and sour smoky mustard and creamy lemon orzo with baby heirloom tomato and basil salad. It was just incredible, and all using their products. And for dessert, we had a chocolate cake with one of their most famous products, the original roasted raspberry chipotle sauce. I wish we bought some of that to come back, but I was just wiped out by then. It was just so good. And that was, so you could book that as a group event or a family event, and we would highly recommend it. Likewise, they actually have, speaking of places to stay, Airstream trailers you can rent.
Yes.
And stay at on site, which is kind of, if you're looking for interesting alternative type lodging, which we'll get into shortly because we stayed at one. And then
and then the last piece of the puzzle for them is the fact
right.
that they also have a distillery on site. One of
Yes.
their sons, Dietz, created a distillery. He actually went to Scotland and got his distilling degree,
Mhm.
and then came back and they opened Dietz Distillery, and he makes gin, eau de vie, obviously from peaches,
right.
and a couple other things as well. Delicious. It's small production. He's just
Small
getting
production.
started, but
He's a young guy.
he's very excited about it, and the whole family's excited about it. They've got a little tasting room there, and a bar where you can get a cocktail and take it out on the back deck and look at the lake or look at the peach trees, play cornhole if you want to do that, because they've got a couple of games out back, and mini golf as well. You can do all that while enjoying a cocktail with Dietz's spirits that he's making right there.
The eau de vies are beautifully packaged. He actually apprenticed in Austria with a producer to learn. He is so excited. And what was nice about it was the last evening of our 3 days. The family was all there. You could feel the care and Mark, the patriarch was Mark, his son Case, his wife, and then their son Dietz, and they were all there talking about every aspect, from developing products for themselves to developing products for others, to the recipes they create, the wines, and of course the spirits. It was a wonderful feel. And they're a lovely family, and I hope we can get them on the show because they're terrific as well. And we love spotlighting families. I think, like I said, on our own, we stopped at the oldest brewery because we just had to have a beer.
Oldest microbrewery.
Microbrewery. You're not going to, you will find some big wineries and distilleries and breweries as you drive around. We didn't go to them, but they're still independent. You're not going to find, mass market.
Very true.
This is very artisanal, craft focused.
Which kind of leads us to places to stay.
Yes. So we touched on some of the hotels, right?
We touched that the Muse is opening in 2027. That's going to bring a lot. There's a number of smaller hotels and places like Hampton Inn, etc., in town as well. You can stay there, and there's obviously some B&Bs in town, but also
a lot of B&Bs.
Many of the places that we visited have a room that they'll rent out to you.
Well, like Jensky.
Like Jensky Farms.
Yeah.
The peach farm, the first place that we went. It
was cute.
They converted the second floor of their shop into a beautiful apartment that they rent out. I think they did it for their mother.
It was
originally, and then they were like, "Wait, she's not living here anymore," because COVID was over. So they just decided to turn it into an Airbnb, and they rent it out on their place. It's beautiful.
It's kind of if it's really probably ideal for a single person. Like if I wanted to go have a writing retreat, I would go there to get away from everybody. You look at the field.
And there are a bunch of places like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a number of interesting boutique hotels. And our group stayed at 2 of them.
So let's talk about those. So we stayed at a really interesting place called the Odonata Escape. Odonata means dragonfly, and I think Choctaw. And it was further out. I mean, you definitely need a
It's
car.
about 4 miles from town.
Yeah, about 4 miles from town. So if you want to stay in town, may not be your place, but if you want to get away and have a dark sky experience, because this is an area known for, if you know what a dark sky is, there's no lights around. You can look up at night and see thousands and thousands of stars, which we did. And you just want quiet and a sense of country. And maybe all you want to do late at night is cook some s'mores over an open flame fire pit. Odonata is your escape. What's interesting about this is a couple who basically decided they wanted invested land, and they found it somewhat out 4 miles outside of Fredericksburg, because that's where you can get affordable land still. And our room was in it's a converted shipping container.
Yes, it's each building is created from converted shipping containers that are
Right.
put together, and then the rooms are built inside them. It's very interesting. You know, I've always had that dream of creating something out of a shipping container. These guys did it.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
And every room has a theme.
Yeah.
So we stayed in Rosa. There was one called Groovy. There's one called Serendipity, and I like the one called Lavender. And they're all decorated to that theme. It's very quiet and peaceful. If you want a quiet, peaceful, there was a kitchenette.
Mhm.
So if you did want to have what we call an extended stay out of the mainstream, but a place to get away, again, a great writer's retreat. This is a wonderful place, and it looks out onto a field. So just complete beautiful sunrises and sunsets.
And their concept was sustainability as well. So
Yeah.
they're repurposing things and then creating a sustainable lifestyle out there.
And they do have, if somebody's interested in doing a retreat, a small company retreat, they have a meeting room area that's quite beautiful. It's called the Porch House at Odonata Escape, a renovated 1880s farmhouse. So that's where we stayed for us and a couple of other people on it. It was a press trip. So again, thank you to Visit Fredericksburg. The other one was called, it was a tree house,
It was the honey tree.
the honey tree. Yeah. It didn't look like a tree house getaway.
No, they were little small buildings built into the side of the hill.
Right.
And
It was cool. Again, rooted in nature,
Right.
sustainability, beautiful views. We didn't get to see inside of it, but again, it was a beautiful pastoral country getaway, romantic place to stay if you want to go that way.
correct.
I think what's important to underscore is that Fredericksburg offers something for everyone. We were all adulting, but it is very family friendly. We also want to emphasize that there are a lot of family activities. What we didn't get to do, we got to thank Debbie Geiger, who drove us around, the owner of Geiger Pierre, because she took us to the Lyndon Baines Johnson. Is it state park or federal?
Well, it's his
birthplace.
It's his private home.
Yeah, it was his private.
which is also it's also a national park now.
Yeah, it's a national park, and
His
it's where
ranch.
he and Lady Bird are buried.
Yes. It's
Quite
the
beautiful.
Johnson family ranch.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Which is
And you-
also a huge working ranch still.
Yeah, we only got to have a peek. We saw the house that he grew up in, but if I went back, I'd want to spend more time exploring that
Yes.
sense of history, because I have a thing for, as you do, seeing presidential homes and libraries. This is his home, and we got to see where they were buried in the house, but not much further. But just beautiful. And the other is some great hiking.
Yes.
And Enchanted, I think it's called Enchanted Rock. There's some amazing hiking in this area. So if you're really into outdoors, and it's flat. So if you're into cycling and hiking, you've got plenty of that nature surrounding you, plus dark skies at night. And then you've got this great in-town feel with bars and restaurants and beer gardens, wine tasting, distilleries. What isn't there in Fredericksburg? Us. We don't live there, but
High
a
rises.
house, no high rises. Okay, no high rises. That's very
I
important
think
to keep the
the
aesthetic.
tallest building in town is the new hotel that the Muse that they're building, and that's only 4 stories.
Yeah.
So it's just outside of town.
So
So it's
yeah, so Fredericksburg,
so
Texas,
it's got that. It's still got that
small town charm
small town charm, and
with
one
big town.
one big main street, a bunch of smaller streets off to the sides of it.
Yeah.
But it's just a charming, delightful small town America.
Yeah, I'm really glad we
Still.
went. I
And
want to go back.
Even though it's 160, 170 years old at this point, I think, and obviously a lot of renovation and a lot of has happened over the years, and restoration has happened over the years. It still keeps that original charm that the city was founded on.
Yeah. Don't you wish every city had that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I really do. So we want to again thank our friends at Geiger PR and Visit Fredericksburg for our first taste of Texas Hill Country and Fredericksburg, which I can't wait to go back. I would love to go when more wildflowers
Mhm.
bloom. I'd love to go spend Christmas or New Year's there. I hear it is spectacular. But it is a 4-season place to visit.
Yep.
I think that's important because a lot of people may ask about the heat. It's 4 seasons.
Mhm.
So again, it's a small town, big charm, and a lot of generous Texas hospitality. So check it out. And as always, thank you for checking us out. We're the Connected Table Live. We want you to eat, drink, explore, and be inspired with us. And always stay insatiably curious.